Welcome to the next tutorial of Android app development program. In this tutorial you are going to learn about how to use the fragments in an Android app or an application regarding the Android apps, how to use the fragments. What is a fragment in an Android? Fragment is also called as a sub-activity of an Android main activity. We can develop many fragments in an activity contains a main activity. We can develop many further activities like fragments in an activity. So let's go on to this topic right away right now. So now I'm opening a lecture on this fragments. Yeah, this is about, actually this matter has been posted in the website. You can read this matter in this website. A fragment is a piece of an application user interface that can be placed in an activity which enables an activity design. That means it's an user interface application that user can interface through the activity, and he can modular the design code what is written in the back end of the activity. He can modify all the modularities will be enabled through the user interface. It's a user interface. User can access any type of information through the fragments. It is also a fragment is a kind of a sub activity, as we already know that the fragment is also called as a sub activity of a main activity. We can call it as a sub activities. What you are going to do as a main activities, we are writing as a instructor. We write a sub activity called as a default constructor in the Android app development. We are considering this fragments as a sub activity classes. As we go on to the program, doing the practical approach, we will understand more better of these fragments. A fragment has its own layout. Yeah, as actually a fragment has its own layout. These are some conditions need to be satisfied for a fragment. A fragment has its own layout. It contains its own layout as a main activity contains its layout. It consists as XML file and Java file. Everything is like an activity, but it is like a sub activity, like a default activity, and the main activity will be the parent class, and this will be on a child activity, this fragment. And its own life cycle, it callbacks it will call back again and again if you reuse the fragments. If you click on some button and it is included with a fragment there, it will call back again the life cycle. That means it will attach the all the files, it will destroy the activity, and it will again reattach the fragment to the Android activity. Here you can add and remove fragments in an activity while activity is running. This is the main point you should concentrate about this. You can add or remove fragments while an activity is running. While an activity is running, we can remove fragments or we can add a fragments to the main activity or a sub activities which we are combining together. A fragment is just a thing which can be used anywhere while running the program. While you code the fragment, it will automatically execute by the, if you running a program inserting, if you insert a fragment in middle of the program, it will automatically execute the fragment and later it goes to the next step. This is the main thing that happens through the fragments in an Android app development. A fragment can be used in multiple activities. It can be used in multiple activities. You can combine multiple fragments in a single activity. We can take a single activity called as a main activity and we can create sub fragments like fragment 1, fragment 2, fragment 3, fragment 4. We can devise multiple interfaces, user interfaces, fragments in a single activity. Fragment lifecycle relates closely to the host activity which means the activity is paused. All the fragments available in the activity will be stopped. If the life cycle of the fragment gives rise to the host activities, then the fragment will be paused and it will be stopped for, and it will not execute any type of fragments inside this main activity if it is connected or related to the life cycle of the host activity. These are some points regarding the fragments. And a fragment is denoted with less than symbol and a fragment letter, and it is closed by a two braces called as less than and greater than symbols. We can denote it in a natural way. These are some points regarding the fragment structure. And coming to the next slide, fragment is denoted with an element like this. And this is the life cycle of the fragment. These are the phases we are giving. As we know that the life cycle contains the attach, create, and create view in a first stage of these are the activities done in the phase 1 of a fragment. And later phase 2, there are 4 phases in the fragment. During the first phase we will attach a fragment and we will create what are the requirements of the fragment, and we on create a view to the fragment, and the activity will be created in the first stage in the phase 1 of this activity. We will do in the practical approach there, where there will be understanding very better. Then we will start a fragment which will be visible to all the states, and we will resume stage we will resume the design of the fragment. And if you run the background mode means while we write the code on the background, we should be paused or stopped. It will be given under the background. And finally the fourth stage comes to, it includes the third stage, the fourth stage too, it includes the third stage. And it consists of lastly the on destroy and on detach methods in this phase 4. This destroy and detach methods are mainly completely destroys the, after completing destroy method it will detach the fragment. So one fragment and other fragment will not be combined together, and it will not be shared with the other fragments the information and thing. These are the main activities related to fragments theory part. Now coming to the practical approach on Android, we have to do a practical approach on Android. These are the some basic knowledge about these activities. So coming to the practical approach, I have designed a fragment here. This is my main activity.xml file in the Android Studio. I have created a design here. This is the design I have created here. I have taken a two buttons classes here, and I have named this as a fragment 1 for the first button and fragment 2 for the second button. This is the two buttons I have placed here. And I have taken a layout called as here I have taken a layout called as a fragment place. This is the fragment layout I have taken here. So in this I have created a two button classes here. In this I have created a two button classes and a fragment class here. So we'll go to just a background code of this XML activity. I'm going to the text here. Go to the text here. Here there will be a two button fields here. This is the button field 1, and this is for the first button, and this is for the second button field. I have created a fragment here called as which is denoted by two curved braces like greater than and less than symbols. I have created a fragment class, and I have closed the fragment class here, like fragment slash, sorry, less than slash fragment. I have created a name of the fragment called as com dot fragment one. I have created, and ID I have given this as a fragment place here, and the width will be at the match parent I have given, so it can match the whole whole tier of the parent, or you can give a width as a fill parent also, or height too you can give it as a fill parent or a match parent. I have taken these four attributes in the fragment class which have been given in this activity, so it displays. So I have created this fragment class here, so it displays a fragment in this design like this. This is the fragment it is displaying like this in the design class here. So these are the three parts I have done in the design classes. I have created one button, two buttons, and a fragment here. So I have created another fragments. While you go to the resources folder, and open a layout. Here I have created a fragment 1.xml and a fragment 2.xml files. Two fragments I have created here. This is the example for the multiple fragments in a same activity, in a single activity called as main activity.java. I have created two fragments called as fragment 1 and fragment 2. The question is how to create a fragment in an Android application. Generally in other softwares like Eclipse or Eclipse IDEs, all are the virtual machines. We have to create background coding for creating a fragments, or there will be a layouts separately for the execution of the layouts will be very somewhat difficult, but compared to the Android app development, Android Studio, we can create a fragments in a very easy manner. Go to the layout here, just right click on the layout here, there will be a option called as new. Go to the new folder, there will be a option called as fragment. You should create a blank. If you want to create a blank fragment, you can click on the fragment called as blank, and if you want to create a list fragment, you can create a fragment called as list. I have chosen two blank fragments, that is called as fragment 1 and fragment 2, called as a blank fragment. Click on the blank fragment here. It will ask for the name of the fragment, give it as a name, and just click finish here. I am cancelling this. So I have two fragments called as fragment 1 and fragment 2 in my main activity.xml file, in this file. So after creating this fragment, this is the fragment class, this is the text field on the fragment class. Go to the design field of the fragment class. There will be a fragment class like this, hello blank fragment. This will be displayed by the fragment class. I have given a background color for the fragment class called like red color I have given here for the fragment 1. For the fragment 1 I have given a red color, and for the fragment 2 I have given a green color to give the separations of which fragment is running in the behind the emulator. So I have separated this as a red and green colors for the first fragment red, and second fragment as a green color. So how to change the color? Click on the black background of this activity. You should click on this activity and go to the properties called here and click on the background and give it as color here, and here also you should give a background color called as, I have given a background color called as a green color. If you want to change the color, go to here, there will be a settings called as here color, in the resources folder there will be a settings called as a color here. Set the color what you like, and give it as a fragment 1 and fragment 2 in this classes. I have given a red and green colors to these fragments. So this is how we create a fragment in an Android application. So now coming to the main activity.java class, we should execute the two fragments when we click on the button clicks. So I have coming to the main activity.java class here. There will be a small coding behind this fragments.java class. Just go to the fragment1.java here. Here there will be a methods called as once we create a fragment, you should be understand that there will be an only on click view method in this fragments only. I have just created a on click view method in this fragment, so it will be created easily. I have removed all the code background from the fragment so that it can be easily transported from button clicks. There will be a no activities, background activities done in this while we execute the program. I have created for the fragment1 extends the fragment class here, and I have given a fragment like this, and I have given only the public view on create view method only. I have removed all these methods in the fragment 1 as well as in the fragment 2 too. I have given a on create view method only. Remaining methods I have erased off. So these are some. This is how we have to execute. Now coming to the main activity.java class, we should give two header files here called as we should give a three header files called as import.android.app.fragment. This header file will choose the fragment is created or not, how many fragments are created, how we should include the fragments to the other fragments, and how we should connect both fragments to the activity. And the fragment manager header file also we should keep, and a fragment transaction. This is the fragment transaction means how we should connect to one fragment to another fragment, or main activity to the other fragments. The connection between the fragment and the activity will be takes place from the fragment transaction folder and manager folder. These are the three header files we have to keep for running a fragment program. These are the three header files, and coming to the main activity, I have created a method called as change fragment. When we click the button here, on click method, I have created a public method here. Since it can be used by the both fragments, if I have created a private method, it cannot be accessed by the other fragments. It could be accessed only by the one fragment only. Since it is a public method, I can use this method for both the activities like fragment 1 and fragment 2. When we click on both buttons, every fragment will be appeared here. I have created a variable called as fragment variable. It's a fragment, and I have given a if condition here. If the condition is true, I have given a simple if condition but not a if else condition. I have given a simple if condition which consists of only if statement. It does not consist of else statement here. It consists of a view called as, I have given a if statement here. If the view, I have created a view variable here. This is called as a view. If the view is equal to the id of the first button, that is equal to r.id.button. This is the id for the first button. If the view is equal to the id of the first button, we should display fragment 1. Otherwise, if the view is equal to the r.id.button2, we should display the second fragment. This is the condition I have given. If you want to give an else condition, you can also give the else condition here by removing this if condition and giving the else condition. If the id we have clicked is not equal to the first button, it will always show the second fragment only. This is the condition I have to give by the if else condition. I have given a two if conditions here, and fragment equal to new fragment 1 here. I'm choosing a fragment 1 method here to display the fragment 1 method, and it should be transaction should be takes place. I have created two objects called as fm and ft. This is called as a fragment manager. This is the object for the fragment manager, and this is the object for the fragment transaction. I have created a fragment transaction to the replace id called as fragment place here. This fragment place id is given in the XML file, main activity.xml file here. I have given a id called as a fragment place here. In this main activity, I have copied this id here to show the fragment 1 in the in this given fragment design. I have given only a one fragment design in which the two fragments will be displayed. If we click on every button, fragment field is 1, but there are two fragments, like it's on a 1:2 ratio. If we click on the button 1, the fragment 1 will be appeared in only the design field of the fragment 1. If we click on the button 2, it will automatically replaces the fragment 1 with fragment 2. Fragment 1 will not be displayed at any time. If any fragment if you want to display, we should create two fragment fields to display two fragments at a time, but two fragments at a time cannot be displayed by us. So we should not we should create multiple fragments, like multiple fragments cannot be executed at a time, but we can do this program by doing various calculations. By clicking on a one button, multiple fragments can execute at a time. I will show you this example in the next video sessions. So multiple fragments can be displayed at a time by a single click. This will be given by me. If you want to try, you can try also, no problem. This will be a great practice to you. So this id I have given in the XML file in the Java class, and a fragment method will be displayed over here. And ft.commit is a function which displays the fragment 1 or fragment 2 in this designed fragment class. Designed fragment interface is there in the design part of the main activity. It will display the fragment 1 or fragment 2. If your button is clicked, ft.commit means it will display the fragment 1 or fragment 2. If you do not keep ft.commit for the first one, then it will show only the second fragment. If you keep fragment ft.commit for the first and second, it will show both the fragments. If we click on the buttons, if you change the button, it will display the button 2. If you click on the button 2, it will show the second activity. If you click on the button 1, it will show the first activity. If this ft.commit will be not there for the first one, it will always show the second activity. If it is not there for the second one, it will always show the first activity. This is the coding part should be done by the fragment class here. After doing all this coding part, just go to the main activity.xml file. Just go to the design part here. After the design part, just click the button of the fragment, and we should call this given method here. I have created a method called as in main activity.java class. I have created a method called as change format method here, which is a public method. So we should call this method in the main activity.xml file here. When we click on this button, the activity should be uploaded, or the activity should be running. There will be an option called as on click here. Just click on the drop down list there, and choose the option called as change fragment for the first button. If you click on this and go to the fragment 2, fragment 2 also has a option called as on click. There will be a drop down button here. When you click on the fragment there, uh, just click on the drop down and change fragment here. If you click on this both buttons, if you click on the fragment 1 will be displayed in this fragment activity. If you click on the fragment 2 will be appeared as a green color, and if fragment 1 is clicked, fragment red is appeared, red colored fragment will be appeared. So we should know the difference between the fragment 1 and fragment 2. So I have keep the colors there. So just run the activity in this, just you should run the activity now, and see how the fragments are running here. Just go to the run and run the activity. It will show an activity called as fragment 1 and fragment 2 here. I have given fragment 1 and fragment 2 buttons here, fragment 1 and fragment 2. If you click on the first button, the red fragment called as fragment 1 will be displayed, and if you click on the fragment 2, it will change into the green colored fragment for the fragment 2. So it is like multiple buttons we should given to a fragments. If we give multiple buttons and give multiple activities in this, so we can create a fragments in a same activity, so that it will be given by a subclasses of this same activity. It will not differ from the activity to activity, and we should give a fragments for each and every class, like a drop down list. So the main activity contains this drop down list, like if you have some drop down lists in the e-learning called as ebooks and other side, we can give it as fragments. So the fragment main activity contains the e-learning, and the subactive like ebooks and e-softwares will be given by the fragments. So this is the output by the fragments class. So thank you for thank you for listening. Bye for now.